Alright, welcome back to the Cactus Cave. So, yeah, got a bit of Bonneville love to spread today, and that's what the video is going to be. She's been, bless her, neglected, well not neglected, she's been pampered for her winter retreat this year. It's the first winter she's ever been laid up and not used every day. She's been just nicely stored. I've wheeled her back into the shed just to do a few cosmetic tweaks that I fancy doing for a while. Yeah, join me along for the ride. Pretty much nothing too dramatic this time round. The often mentioned bottom mounted headlight, which I've always been keen on doing. I'm going to have a little play around with that, see if I can make that happen. Got a different fuel cap I might play around with. Got that a while back and quite like it. See how that goes, and obviously got the different mirrors that I showed last time, because the mirrors that used to be on the Bonneville I stuck on the DRZ, yeah, just fancied a bit of a change. They were never going to be a permanent fix on the Bonnie. I don't know, I always fancied a round mirror, which obviously I've got with these ones. But yeah, I'm going to start off, probably not going to put the wing mirrors on at the moment, just going to be moving around, and that can be just like a last minute thing. I'm going to do the fuel cap first, and then I'm going to take the fuel tank off, because I need to get access to the, see where I'm going to relocate a lot of the wiring that goes into the headlight bucket. But I think we'll probably take the headlight and the headlight ears off first, and just yeah, see how it all looks together. So I'll bring you over here and show you the bits we've got, and we'll go from there. Alright then, so let's have a little look at the goodies. I think I showed you the bar end mirrors on the last video. There they are. High cider, but again, not overly expensive. These, I can't remember, I've had them for quite a while now in the box and just not fitted them. But I had they obviously just clamp onto the end of your bar ends. I always think it looks a little bit like an afterthought when you've just clamped around a bar end on there. So I had some of these made up. My mate got them machined to my specs. They're stainless, solid stainless steel bar ends that these can just go straight down there. And I think that just makes for a nicer finishing job on there. Just tidies it all up a lot more, look a bit neater. So yeah, that's those going on. So that's pretty basic and straightforward. Also, I've had this knocking around for a bit. I'm going to see how it looks on the tank. It might look a bit gimmicky, but aluminium fuel cap. I've got the 8-ball on the 2-stage sort of choke thing on there anyway, and this was just kind of a nice piece. Kind of got it because I've got the flush mounted cap on there at the moment. I'll show you that in a minute, which is great. It's fine. It's a tiny bit temperamental sometimes when you push it and trying to get it back in, and it's fading out a little bit. The anodizing's fading a bit, so I could pull it all apart and probably spray it or something, but it's the trouble with fuel caps, they always get scratched, dinged, fuel splashed on them. So yeah, it might work, I might not like it, but we'll have a little play. You'll notice there's nothing really on the bottom. The idea with these is you take your existing or your stock Bonneville fuel cap. I had to do a bit of hunting around to try and find out where I put this, because obviously I've had this on the bike for a long time. And on the back there, you can just see all it is just this cap held in place by a circlip there. So I'll take that apart and put it together, stick it on the bike and see how it looks. And yeah, we'll do that first, because then I'm going to be taking the fuel tank off the bike, just to give me a bit more access to where I could probably reroute some of the wiring. And I showed you the headlight bracket last time. That's the old Motone one. And then here's the headlight lamp I'm going to be using for now. Now, this, couple of reasons why I went with this one. It's an ABS light. It's not metal. I'd quite like an aluminium one. The trouble with the steel ones, you get like the very sort of standard Bates ones. They're very nice, and I really like them. But unless you start spending lots of money, they do tend to go a bit rusty, I've noticed, and it just annoys me a little bit, things like that. So I was looking for an aluminium version, but they tend to be a little bit more expensive, or I haven't found one that I really like at the moment. And because I don't know entirely if this is going to completely work or I'm going to be satisfied with it, I don't want to throw a load of money at a very expensive headlight that ends up not going on the bike. So it's kind of like, you know, this is the sort of thing that I'll have, and I'll always have this in my parts bin, if you like. You know, if it's not on the bike, then I'll be using it for something else. So all in all, not very expensive. It was about 30 quid delivered, so not the cheapest. But the other thing I like about it is you can see you got the mounting pin bolt here. That's quite close. You know, it's all quite stocky. I want it actually to sit quite in. I don't want it to be sticking out too far. And that, obviously when that's mounted on the front of the yoke there, that will hopefully provide a fairly close together kind of setup, which is kind of what I want, if that makes sense. But we'll have a look. It's going to be the fun bit. This is what I'm going to try and get done today, is actually just get the old headlight off and dismount it up, just to see if I even like the kind of the arrangement of it all and how it looks all together. If I don't like it, there's no point in going on. But yeah, it's all fun and games. So enough waffling, let's get the fuel cap done.
Well, first things first, I think we'll just take the headlight off. I'll probably leave the headlight ears in place for now, just move them out of the way, because to get these off I need to either take the top yoke off, or what I'll probably do is just slacken off the pinch bolts top and bottom and just drop the forks down enough to get these out. Yeah, just for the first bit, I think we'll just remove this, shift all the wiring out of the way, and just mount up the new stuff, just to see how it looks and whether or not it's worth pursuing. Let's get the torch on so we can see. So straight off the bat, I mean, this is a inch smaller than your standard Bonneville headlight. This is the LSL, was it Clubman? I think that's what it is. I honestly can't remember, it's been so long. But as you see, I've moved a lot of the wiring out of the way. Obviously the rectifier relocated, the ignition relocated. I moved some wiring behind. It's not ideal at the moment. It's a little bit, some of it's a bit back on itself and going under, so I want to try and address all of that and get it tidied up. But that's what I've got to basically get rid of, because none of that is going to go inside that. At least I don't think so. I haven't even opened that up yet, but that's all for as we go along. Let's get rid of the headlight shell. So I'm going to start unplugging all the bits and bobs, get the bolts out, just get it all out of the way. So I had a thought before I take it all off, just in case anyone's interested and they're going down to a smaller headlight. Obviously I've just got some aftermarket. I mean, these are cheap as anything. You get them off eBay. They were just aluminium headlight brackets that are powder coated black. And I've just put a rubber, again, eBay or most bike part places do them. Headlight rubbers, just call them. So that's just a squashed rubber, just to take up the extra space that's lost. I think that's just a countersunk Allen bolt aluminium one, and a nice kind of like a dress up washer there. I think that was from Pro Bolt I got those from, and I thought, you know, that just neatens up all the bits that are on there. But yeah, that's what I've done, but that's what's coming off. Alright, there we go. So headlight off, bracket still in place. So you can see all the stuff that was in there. So that's the main body of the loom, if you like, that comes on the, you know, the main part of the wiring loom. And then we've got off there speedo, so the lights, indicators, fuel, engine management, blah blah blah. On that one, we've got a left and right hand switch gear blocks there. They'll have to go somewhere else. And what else we got? And obviously indicators. Indicators are up there as one of the things I might change to some smaller LED jobs at some point. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. So that's it basically stripped down. I'm going to move just these out of the way now, and then I'm going to mount the bottom mount bracket on there, and then hook up the headlight to it, and we'll have a look, see if that's aesthetically pleasing. And we're looking at it straight away. The indicators are going to be kind of a little bit exposed like that, so I might want to do something a bit different to that. In fact, I'm fairly sure I'm going to, just looking at it straight off the bat there. But yeah, come on, one step at a time, boy. Let's get it bolted on. Okay, I had to take the brackets off in the end just because I needed to have the proper visual look at it, you know. I didn't want too much. I did just loosen those off and able just to slide the forks and the whole front down and pop them off. But so there we go. So that's the Motone bracket in place. The more I'm looking at it, I'm thinking I'm gonna definitely want to do something with the. I don't like the indicators there. They're going to be too. It needs to be more discreet now if this goes ahead. So so yeah. So the further you get, the further back you get. But it's all fun. It's just changing the face of the old beast. So right. Kind of delaying a little bit because I'm quite excited, so prolonging the fun, but going to get that headlight on now and have a look. Position from this angle. Oh, I'm quite liking it. It's kind of difficult for where I'm at the moment to see if it's poking out like that way a bit too far. I can't really do anything about that if that's the case, but I don't think so. It seems I'm quite happy with the way that sits in relation to everything. It's kind of weird when it's inside. You almost want to get it outside and have a good walk round, and but yeah, I'm thinking I'm liking that. Yeah. I mean, like I say, this is just a, like I say, it's not the most high, I mean, it's fine, but it is just a plastic finish. If I can get this to work in a satisfactory way, i.e. I like the way I've routed the cabling, I might decide at some date to go for a slightly nicer finish. I mean, in an ideal world, perhaps a little shallower. For what I want, but yeah. Okay, while I'm at it, I thought I'd just take it out as well, just to see what we're dealing with in there. And there's a tiny bit of room, so I might be able to get the indicators, the wiring it in there. That's a possible, but I think that's going to be literally about it. And obviously I'll just feed the headlight connections through they'll be able to go through, but I think that is going to be literally it. But yeah, that's sitting there. So there's a little bit of room behind there. Yeah, I've said I'm going to wheel it out of the shed now. I want to have a look at it from a distance because I'm kind of right on top of it at the moment, and have a look. So I'll button this back up and get that out, wheel it out, have a look, see what I reckon, and go from there. Okay, so outside, stood back. I think it's enough for me definitely to carry on with trying it out. It might not be the exact bottom mounted headlight, but I'm quite liking the slightly more stripped down look. Still feel it wants to be in a little bit, perhaps, but definitely from the cockpit point of view, I like the open space. Okay then, so there we go. Bike's back in the house now. I'm kind of liking the whole bottom mount. I always have, so I kind of knew I would. I'm not 100% sold this is going to be the light, but as I said, this is kind of almost like
dummy light, which I'm sure I will use again in the future. And if this doesn't end up being the one that I use on the bike, at the moment it's a good dummy one for me to try and figure out the wiring and everything first. I don't want to be spending, I don't know what they like, 70, 80, 90 to whatever you want to spend really on a not really nice light if I can't make it work. So yeah, that's pretty much where we'll leave this video. The next video is going to be probably the tank coming off and actually having a good in-depth look at this. If it actually makes for good viewing, it might be incredibly boring, but I think it would be interesting for anyone else who's considering doing the same sort of thing to their Bonneville. As I was bringing the bike back in, I was sort of like, the old cogs start whirring a little bit. The indicator situation, definitely didn't like it there. It just looks ugly, doesn't look clean enough for my liking. So I've got a couple of ideas. I might get some more of the projector LEDs that like I had on the SR250. Cut the bracket a bit there, so obviously you don't need the tabs coming out because it's obviously it's a flat flush main, and maybe just have them there. But in the short term, I might actually put where the rectifier is relocated there. Obviously the bolt hole spacing is exactly the same to the bracket because the rectifier used to go there where the bracket mains. So I was thinking I might even get away with using existing indicators and putting the bracket there and having them just coming out the side there. So I'm going to give that a go on the next video as well, see how that looks. Kind of for the short term saves me having to buy any more indicators. If I go LED wise, I'm going to have to get a relay as well, because I don't think I've got an LED relay in here. I honestly can't remember that either anymore. I might have switched it out. But yeah, I mean the indicators that are on there, not exciting, but they're fairly clean, smallish, and they don't really cause me any bother. You know, they work, they do what they should do. So yeah, we'll see. If I can get away with doing that, that might be an option. But yeah, that'll be the fun and games for the next video. So tank will come off. We're starting to look at how we can possibly reroute the wiring and change the wiring. And yeah, that'll be it. We'll see. It might be an interesting video for anyone else who's looking at attempting the same sort of thing. And yeah, we'll go from there. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next part, and take care out there.